On this week's episode, the new London studio is going to be open for production starting this next week.
And several new instructors have debuted their premier classes. Plus, stacking is now available on iOS, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 51 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I am Amanda Siegel, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hey now, Amanda. How you doing?
I am good. Yeah, busy week with tons going on, and it's lots of bad weather on the East Coast. I don't know if Michigan got any of that awful rain, but we certainly got it down here in Maryland and New York. Wow, that was pretty scary.
Yeah, it's crazy how some of the stories that I saw on my social media feed of some folks that I know that were stranded on the FDR last night for hours. In traffic.
I didn't hear anything about any of the instructors. Had you seen anything?
Not about the instructors, but one person who's I'm friendly with and I follow on Facebook, Instagram. She's a in-studio PA. She was stuck with her husband, I think on the FDR drive for about 4 hours. So I was messaging with her, stay safe and everything. And they got out after about 4 hours, but they were ready to spend the night in their car. So
Yeah. It was a community member that I followed, the same thing. She was in the city and she was heading back to New Jersey, and she didn't get home until it was something like 3:30 or 3:45 in the morning. Just also hours. I think she said 7 hours. She must have been stuck out there. Insane. Well, hopefully you guys are all safe, and the sun started shining on Thursday and it looks like it's still shining. So hopefully we can get some of this water cleared before we start seeing some more rain. I even saw the temperatures kind of cool down a little bit. It was funny. September hits and summer is gone. The kids are back to school, and it's amazing. Is Jackson back at school?
So he starts the day after Labor Day in Michigan. So school starts right after Labor Day because Michigan, it's summer is, the tourism booming. So they always start public school in Michigan after Labor Day. So yeah, his final week of summer camp. And no, the weather's been fantastic. It was like as soon as we hit September 1, the humidity switch just shut off. And
Isn't it bizarre? It's so bizarre that that's what happens.
Yeah, but now it's beautiful, and it's like
it was funny
outside.
Though to see, think about summer last year ending and kind of going into the fall where kids didn't go back to school and things weren't happening, and people were working from home, and it was pretty, it was pretty interesting to see the dynamics of this year, and parents now excited because their kids have now gone back to school and there's no in-house learning, and those folks that were teachers that can't ride now when they used to. And it was interesting watching through the dynamics of social media how different people were reacting to a different environment, and I can't say post-pandemic, unfortunately, because I think we're still very much in a pandemic, which is scary in itself. But just to see the dynamics of kids going back to school and members, teachers that are now having to go into classrooms, etc. So we'll have to see how everything pans out across the world and in our different communities to see what happens over the next few months, I guess. So, John, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you folks how you can stay up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button at the bottom right-hand corner of the video and hit notify to never miss an episode.
And if you prefer to listen to us in traditional podcast format, we are on all podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy. Click subscribe, hit the notification button so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review. We love to get your feedback, how we can improve upon what topics you want to hear, or maybe potential interviews. Let us know.
And finally, we're on Facebook and Instagram, as I'm sure most of you viewers follow us already. But if not, make sure that you follow us on those platforms to never miss an episode. And I guess, John, let's get on with the show.
On with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, folks, no question, our top story this week is that the London studio is finally moving to its new digs in Covent Garden with a go-live date of September 14th. Not quite sure what the delay has been, as it's been completed for a while now, but Peloton has shared on social media very cool videos that there will be no classes from September the 4th until the 13th, and that we should all stay tuned for something special. While they haven't directly told us that it is due to the fact that the studio is opening, the video certainly hints that way. There is a sign, there's the front of the new studio. There is also a sign of the floral garden street. So I think that it is happening. They are finally moving. Now, of course, we do want to reiterate, though, that this is most likely just for production. They're moving over the production aspect of the cycling. I think we know that the strength has been out of that studio, I assume, because there's no space for strength in the old studio, having been there myself. So I think the strength have been there, but this is obviously transitioning over for cycling. So it's not open yet to members. I don't foresee that happening until sometime in the new year, as I'm sure that it will, be the same here in the States. Of course, we did share, a few months ago, the schematics of the floor plans. And as we know, the new studio does have space for tread classes. So our rumors on tread instructors Susie Chan and Jocelyn Thompson Rule should most likely be announced too. Additionally, Peloton has confirmed that there were 3 German tread instructors that are going to be joining the team this fall. And as we all know, London is the European base for all of the recordings. So it looks like it's all roads lead to Tread being coming out of the UK. And, who knows, maybe some of the current instructors are going to be on that Tread too. I know a lot of people are holding out for Ben, so let's see. But we know there are 3 new German instructors. Exciting.
Now, I know, Amanda, you're not a runner. You don't like to do straight runs. If Leanne starts teaching running, are you gonna start running on the tread?
You're putting me on the spot now, aren't you? You are putting me on the spot. And you know what, John? We'll have to wait and see. Truthfully, my running is actually, I wish I could run. My running is more because I've had 2 back surgeries. So I had 2 herniated discs and stuff. So I wish I could run. But every now and again, you'll see me doing a little bit of it here and there. But I'll have to just walk her. I'll have to just walk her classes if she gets on there. I don't foresee her being on the tread, though. It just doesn't seem to go with her jam.
With her style.
I guess we'll wait and see.
We'll know pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, another feature that I am very excited about finally, and I'm sure you are because you are also an iPhone user. But
Yes.
we now have on the most recent iOS update for Apple, we now have the ability to stack classes on the app. So originally back in March, Peloton had added that ability for Android users on the Peloton app, and only Android users could enjoy that. But now you can go into the app with that recent update, and there'll be a little extra icon, and you can see all the screenshots that we have, a pretty comprehensive look at it on the Pelo Buddy website. But you can now create, edit, modify your class stacks on the iOS app, and then you can, it'll go right onto your bike, onto your tablet or tread, and you can, start your stack there. So I know for me, I haven't been, I always like going into the app and, I think I call it a wish list now. I count myself in for everything I want to do for the day, and then maybe half of those I end up doing. But it's nice now because I really spend a lot of time in that app, searching for classes, checking the schedule. So this is definitely clutch now, having that ability to, especially when the studio is closed, for the day. Going in there, creating my stack just on the app, and then going down to the bike the next morning, and boom, it's there. It's just there. It's so easy. So hallelujah that is
huge feature. Huge feature.
And also, as we I previously reported last week, the new lower cost tread is back on sale. It's happened, but it appears to be the one thing to add on to, since we didn't know back when it went on sale last week. There seems to be a new delivery scheduling system that Peloton has put in place since the tread went back on sale. And so now when you make your purchase, you'll basically wait. You'll place your order. You'll be put into a temporary scheduling hold until the tread is ready for delivery in your area. So it's very obviously based on your zip code and your country and region that you live in. They'll basically hold your delivery spot in a queue, and then you'll be notified via email as well as text message if you've opted in with a scheduling link once your order is ready to be scheduled for delivery. So don't know if that makes it easier. I know when I got my Tread Plus, you're just immediately taken to a link with all just the available dates. So I don't know if this makes it more seamless, or how that's,
I
if
think
it
it probably
streamlines the process.
Yeah, I mean, it streamlines the process from a Peloton perspective, because they can be more efficient in kind of going to areas, same areas as opposed to being all over the place. So I think from that perspective, it's probably a good thing, right? For them.
Probably from a logistics standpoint, it makes it
correct.
More efficient. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But they did say we're committed to providing members with a seamless delivery experience. And I have seen a couple members, talking about their experience with ordering it. I haven't seen any major hiccups yet that I've noticed. I mean, it just went back on sale, so time will tell, obviously.
Got it. Yeah, awesome. Well, John, I guess with the tread now back up for sale, it does make sense that the new Peloton coaches, specifically for tread, have in fact now been announced. So with so many more folks now going out there and purchasing the tread, it's exciting to see so many more on the platform and have officially joined the team. This past week, we saw Daniel McKenna, Marcel Dinkins, and Kirsten Ferguson all on the schedule with Premier rides. So Kirsten's ride dropped on Monday, August the 30th. Daniel's was on Tuesday, August the 31st, and Marcel's was just this past Wednesday on September the 1st. They all did them at that 7:30 p.m. time slot. And it tends to be that's what they typically do with a new coach, whether it be bike, or tread. They drop them in the evening. So that was really cool. I did not have a chance to get on and get to see any of them. I don't know if you did, John. Either. Did you? Not either? Yeah.
They were all, I know Daniel's, and there were a couple of premier classes that were at night, and I just...
Yeah, they were all three of those dropped at 7:30 p.m. All three dropped at 7 p.m. So interestingly enough, they haven't said anything about the other two, but with Daniel, he is going to be teaching, in addition to his tread classes, strength. So he had a premier strength class, which was on September the 2nd. That was Thursday, and that was at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And next week we see a tread boot camp on the class schedule. So I know you like to do those boot camps, John. So maybe that's something that could be fun for you to do. That is on Thursday, September the 9th. But again, it is an evening class at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So exciting to get to learn more about them. And I believe that all the new instructors all got together. We saw some of that on social media, and hopefully you guys get to see that picture that Chris just popped up. But that would be all those new instructors that are on the platform, and there are a lot of them. So
and it's been, I will say, it's been fun. The little bit of interaction we've had with Daniel McKenna on the Insta Lives that he's done have been really. Cali, I think it was Cali came on with him, and she sort of, maybe it was Cali or one of the other instructors, they sort of moderated, they fielded questions for him.
Oh,
in
sweet.
The Insta Live.
Yeah, that's so cute.
But it was fun when he went live and Rad Lopez was in the background. And a lot of the questions were funny because they all said, how long did you have to keep it a secret? How long, tiptoeing around? And he said how he was always in the studio and he would hear other instructors in their pods doing their Insta Lives, and how he was always super nervous. He would walk by or be seen in the background. And then I chimed in, obviously, and I said, we knew for a long time you were going to be an instructor.
Right, HIHF, HIHF.
And then he pointed to Rad Lopez when he saw that comment from me. He goes, apparently John knew I was going to be an instructor for a long time. Rad Lopez is acting.
I think you got the accent perfectly.
Oh, yeah,
John, I think you got the accent perfectly. That was brilliant.
I think that's a little Scott. It always goes a little Scott. I don't know.
No, you did good. But that's too funny. That's too funny.
Yeah.
Yep. So HIHF, but it's exciting to see them now on the platform, and we can get to work out with just more. There's just more choice and
so many new
diversity.
faces. I really got to dive into the new instructors. I know when Kendall and Tunde and Olivia joined, it took me a while to work out with them. It wasn't like I didn't want to try them out. I just I'm set kind of with all the instructors, but now I'm just trying to broaden the horizons, keep an open mind. So I'm excited to try out Daniel and Kristen, Marcel Dinkins,
which is going to be a little bit confusing because I believe that one of the German instructors that's coming on is funny enough, his name's Marcel too. So that is going to be a little tricky. So the American Marcel is a female, and the German Marcel is a male.
Is a guy.
So yeah. All right, what's up next?
Yeah. Well, with the Peloton Output Park, back in May of 2021, Peloton announced they were going to build their first U.S.-based production facility in Ohio, which they're going to call Peloton Output Park, or POP. And in August, a lot of Peloton executives, coaches, and select local community members came together in Ohio for the official groundbreaking ceremony. And the plans to begin production of Peloton equipment there in 2023. But in the building plans, Chris Lewis with Pelo Buddy has uncovered, obviously, a space for rowers, which doesn't come as a surprise to us because we know the rower's coming. We know it'll be manufactured there eventually. So that was kind of no surprise, but it just solidifies, that the rower's happening.
Yeah, and I think, John, what we can kind of anticipate now is that we really are looking at 2023. So I guess for the next 18 months or so, we know no rower is going to be on the market. But once they have, POP up and running, I like that it's POP. Once they have POP up and running, then that is going to probably be where it's going to be produced. And so that's it. Yeah, interesting.
But you don't think we're going to get I thought we were anticipating getting a rower in 2022. So I guess would they manufacture it?
Yeah, maybe they'll manufacture it somewhere else. You're right. I mean, they could be. I was just surmising. That if this isn't going to open up until 2023, then perhaps that's what we're looking at. I still think they need to get.
I hope that doesn't mean we're not getting a rower until 2023.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, I still think that they're going to focus on getting that Tread Plus back out there and making sure that it's safe and working on that before they tackle anything else. That's my feeling. So I guess we'll have to We'll have to wait and see. Well, we did all have some fun this past week, John, didn't we, in determining where in the world was Waldo? I mean, Ben Alldis.
And it was all we cracked the case by, was it gelato?
It was. So Ben had shared on social media that he was going to be off the schedule, traveling for work. And of course, we all had our special investigators out so that we could HIHF as to where he was. And we knew that he was joining. He had mentioned on social media that he was joining Jess Sims and the executive producer, Jackie Moore. But where were they going to be? And yes, our detectives determined Iceland, because Jess had posted Ben and herself eating gelato on Instagram. So I guess we kind of knew, we had a feeling it was Iceland, that's where they were going. After determining like what countries were open and who was going to be allowing who and whatever, and Iceland seemed like an awesome place to go to. We went to Google. We kind of went into detective mode. I say we, but obviously that is our Pelo Buddy guru went into detective mode, and the gelato store was, and I'm going to probably pronounce it wrong, was Gatia. And we had a sneaky feeling that they obviously were in Iceland. So after Googling the gelato stores in Reykjavik, Iceland, sure enough, it popped up. And there were two distinctive items that kind of gave away the location. One was obviously the sign. We saw that in the back. It was a glimpse of the name. And the other was actually some nitrogen tanks that they have in the front of the store. And it was in Jess's picture. And then of course we saw it on the web that was in fact where they were. So something to look forward to. I guess we're going to see some stunning scenic runs and rides. I'm assuming both. Now the question is Ben there to ride or is Ben there to run? Because he's going to be on the Tread platform. Again, that's me surmising. But we do know that there's going to be some fun stuff and content coming out of Iceland in the near future.
Now, have Ben or Jess confirmed that they're in Iceland since?
No. No confirmation.
Okay. So they're still keeping it on the down low. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Well,
and interestingly enough, since we did all of that, since we had all this detective work going on, they haven't posted anything as far as location goes. Ben's put stuff on about his classes that are dropping and that kind of thing, but there's been nothing on location. So it's quite funny. Well,
in other little random tidbit, could boxing be coming from Bradley Rose? So just a quick little tidbit here. In a recent 10-minute arms class that Pelo Buddy we posted about, Bradley said, "I've always been a boxer, and I think I can hopefully bring more of that to this platform in the class." So it sounds like...
Yeah, I did that class. I did that arms with him, actually. Yep, this past week I did it. And it was funny to hear it. And yeah, I mean, the whole last, it was a 10-minute, light weights and arms on the bike. And the last probably 4 minutes was all boxing. And he definitely had a wink at the end, when he was sharing about boxing. And he was like, he pretty much gave it away. It's just a question of when they're going to actually do it. Yeah,
and I was going to say, we had also mentioned there was a survey went around back in May to select members asking their thoughts on boxing. So yeah, it's probably a certainty it's coming to the platform. The question of when,
with so many new instructors and into the boxing platform. Yeah, that was exciting. Yeah, so we had shared previously, folks, on the show that United Healthcare was starting a new benefit, which allowed members of United Healthcare the ability to sign up for a free year's membership with the digital app, with the Peloton digital app. If you already owned a bike or a tread, United were going to give you 4 months worth of your all access membership for free. So those that already did, have the hardware were not going to be shortchanged. But for those folks that did not and are maybe considering getting the hardware, they can actually get access to the digital app initially through United Healthcare. So we had reported that a while ago, a couple of weeks ago, but the benefit did in fact go live just this past Wednesday. So September the 1st is when it became an option for folks that did have United. It is expected to, so United have approximately 4 to 6 million possible eligible members. So that could be a huge thing. Not everyone's going to necessarily take the use the advantage of that. But it is unfortunate, though, that not all United Healthcare subscribers do have access. It is going to be a select benefit for certain insurance plans under the United umbrella. But I encourage folks, that have United to jump on. It's a year free membership and it's awesome. I mean, get familiar with the platform. And, again, I'm sure it's a brilliant marketing, ploy on both United and Peloton's, perspective. And hopefully then folks will, go hard and get the hardware, the bike or the treads. So, yeah.
Oh. Well, following up, Amanda, from the price drop of the Peloton bike, Australian members who have purchased the bike before that price decrease are all retroactively being credited back the price difference. So nice little bonus for Australian members taking advantage of that price break and not really having, they don't have to return or do anything. They're just being credited back however, their original form of payment.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, it's very cool that it's going to go retroactive and they'll get that, that 600, the Australians certainly $600 back. That's pretty cool. A new Versus Artist series actually just dropped this past week as well. So at the end of August, we did see the artist series for the Versus that we've seen over the last few months feature Too Short and E40. Never heard of either. It was a whole new world for me. But we got to see a ride and a run. So Chase Tucker did a 30-minute run back on Tuesday. That was the 31st. And Kendall got to do a ride, and she did that on Wednesday, September 1st. And that was at 7:30 East Coast time. So it was a 30-minute ride that she did on the bike. So yeah, again, this Versus stuff. I mean, some of them I knew, a lot of them I have no clue who they are. So definitely a different, different jive.
Yeah. I haven't. I didn't do it yet. I'm not familiar with the artist, so I'm out of the loop on so much.
Yep.
On so much music.
Me too. I'm too old.
We have a new strength stack, and Cali Gullickson, the torch, the strength stack torch has been passed to her. So she has September, and there's 7 classes total in this. And it's simply described as, welcome to the September strength stack. Wrap up the summer with 3 back-to-back days of full body and HIIT cardio workout. Paired with a healthy dose of rest days that will leave you feeling strong and powerful. So it's a small collection. I went in there. It's 7 classes total with Cali, and she's been going live on Insta promoting it. So I've done 1 or 2 strength classes with her, and she's great. And yeah.
I tried her out when she first was launched, and I'm not doing as much strength as I need to. So, and if I just always seem to gravitate towards Ben's strength classes when I'm doing strength on the floor for some reason. But maybe this will be a good opportunity to try something with Cali. I know that folks that do work out with her love her. So I know Daisy Mack, who we've had on the show many, before, and I've spoken about, loves Cali. She has said that she's had some great workouts with her. So who knows? And then
I'm probably the worst at strength. I have. I'm the most inconsistent with it, I'll say.
Yeah, me
like
too.
Some weeks, it's just
hit or
It's
miss
weird.
if I get on
I feel
there.
like I always have to be. I always feel like I have to be on the bike or on the tread, and I feel like if I'm just working out on the floor, I'm not. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm as accountable. It's weird.
Well, it's funny you say that though, because something popped up actually on Thursday when I did my ride. I don't know if you see on your phone, but you'll kind of get a message if you've signed up for the ride. You'll get a message on the iOS that
the
says,
reminder.
you've just completed your 30 minutes, or you'll say, well done, you've just completed your 30-minute,
Time for a stretch.
ride.
Yeah.
And I noticed just on Thursday, I noticed it said, and why don't you try some 10-minute strength? And I'm like, okay, seriously, are you like monitoring me? Do you like know that I haven't been doing strength that I should be? But I had never noticed that before. And I noticed it, on Thursday, which was kind of funny. So,
Yeah,
they're
I
definitely
always
trying to
just see
push
the
the other mediums.
message. Yeah, I always just see it just says time for a stretch, and it just leaves that question
Okay.
open-ended. Oh,
Yeah, no, this one
they're
said
getting
strength.
smart.
So I'm like, they're getting smart. Definitely.
It's a nice gentle nudge.
Yeah. And then we are sending some healing thoughts to yoga and meditation instructor Anna Greenberg. She's actually been off the schedule due to laryngitis. So she has no voice, and she popped on social media through an Instagram post saying that she hopes to be back soon, but she's still resting her voice, and she had been told to kind of lay low and not do any talking. So that was kind of disappointing. Yeah. And then I guess next up, John, we're going to bring in Jules Catharina from our German community, and she has some really exciting stuff to share with us. So welcome, Jules.
Thanks so much for having me, Amanda. Yes, oh my, what a week it's been for the German community. So it wasn't very much publicly announced, but we sort of had a bit of a German homecoming on the weekend. So last weekend, the German ladies and the German gents community met up in Berlin, and we were, I believe it was like 220, 240 people all meeting up. Yeah, it was, you cannot even imagine, it was insane. It was organized by the community. So I think some of you already know her, Claudia, German Floridian, one of the admins from the German ladies group, took on the task to organize a massive event in a pandemic. And it started off as being a German ladies only event. Eventually the gents joined us, and it turned out 200 plus people. We were there from Friday to Sunday. It was amazing. Like we had a ladies event on a Friday night that was, I think, 160 people. It's just so many community members, and it's one thing, obviously, I mean, you know this yourself, Amanda, you meet so many people from the community, right, in real life. Like that in itself is already it's so buzzing and exciting. But after a pandemic or in a pandemic, to meet that many people real life, and obviously it was all COVID conform, it was just insane. Like what an event that was.
Wow, what an experience. And I mean, to have so many people together must have been so awesome. I know I saw some goodie bags. I saw some things that were done. Share with us. Tell me.
Yeah, so the Saturday night, well, we had a lot of sponsors. So we had Claudia got in, I think it was Adidas, Peloton themselves, actually, Peloton Germany sponsored the Saturday night. So they gave all of us goodie bags. They hosted, we had a raffle, which was all the proceeds went to Eric, the German instructors charity. And there was, they had talks. The German, CEO is the wrong word, but I guess the German country manager from Peloton, Martin Richter, he was there and gave a speech about the power of the community, and gave us a bit of statistics about how many rides all of the German gents and German ladies did together. We had talks from there's two marathon running twins. They are sponsored by Adidas. They came and gave a talk. There was that's actually a funny one. So Adidas, in collaboration with Peloton, organized a sightseeing run on the Saturday morning. And 120 people turned up. So there was, I think, about 80 or 90 people walking, 20 something people running. I have to admit, I naked. I had a bit too much to drink on a Friday night, but from what I've seen, the pictures, it looked like an absolute fantastic event, and I know everyone who went had the time of their lives, and it was just unbelievable.
Wow, Jules. So folks flew, and obviously you flew in from London. Folks flew in from different parts of Germany as well.
Yeah, all over Germany. So I think the furthest away was probably Claudia, who came from Florida. So no, I think not too far from where you are based or where your second house is.
Yes, yes,
Um,
I know.
yeah, so she and her husband actually went over from Florida.
I have
Yeah, we had.
shivers. Oh my goodness. I have literally cold shivers. I think that's so awesome. Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah, it was just I can't even put it into words. Like I think we need to show some pictures or something. On the show, I'll
Definitely.
send you some clips. Like it's yeah, it was
Definitely. We'll
an
have Chris pop those up there because we'll definitely want to see that. And I know we have so many amazing German community members that do watch the show and have started following. And I know the minute we know that you're on, they're going to definitely be watching. So that's so wonderful that you got to share that with us. Thank you so much. And I know there are going to be tons of envious folk all over when they get to see this. Yeah, and then I know that there was a special week this week from a ride perspective. Do you want to fill us in on that?
Yes, absolutely. So, Chris, one of the producers of Pelo Buddy, obviously, his fiancée Annika is representing Germany in the Paralympics. And obviously, I think myself, I think everyone's been following her journey in the Paralympics in Germany this week. And we had a special hashtag for Annika, which was Go for Gold, Annika Zion. And we messaged the instructor Myla because she had one of the live rides basically on the Tuesday, and yeah, we just asked her, hey, could you maybe give us a shout out? Like, it's just for supporting Annika. Like oftentimes you're like, okay, maybe they'll mention it, maybe they won't, but
Right.
she dedicated the whole ride to Annika. Like, it wasn't just a case of giving a shout out, like. Basically, if you wanted to record the shout out, you had to record the whole ride because the whole ride was in spirit of Annika, like supporting Chris, obviously, making sure to give him high fives. She was talking about Annika's journey on the ride, and it was, I was speechless in the ride. Like, I actually sent Mila a voice message after that and was like, wow, like, I'm literally got goosebumps. Like, this was so amazing. And a lot of community members joined in with the hashtag as well. And even after that, Chris and I also got a few messages asking if they can continue using the hashtag to keep supporting Annika in her journey of in the Paralympics, and it was wow, like the power of the community in Peloton is just second to none, like
Oh, Jules.
insane.
Well, for those folks that don't know, I had the privilege of interviewing Annika actually on the show. Gosh, it's a while back now, and I forget exactly which episode it was. I know that Chris will be able to tell us, but I interviewed Annika, and her story is pretty incredible. So certainly, I'd love for folks to go back and take a look at that. But she is a Paralympic cyclist, a world champion cyclist. So it kind of ties into the whole Peloton community, and that's what her sport is. And she's always said that she's used the platform for other things, obviously, through Chris, but that she'd love to see Peloton be able to do something, for paralyzed members to be able to utilize it. But I'm going to spill the beans because I did stay up to watch the races, and we were so blown away. Annika is coming home with gold. She did get gold in her time trial, which was just phenomenal. The following day, she did the road race and was exceptional and is bringing home silver. So, I mean, honestly, having watched it and knowing, and I felt so privileged to know somebody that was actually in the Paralympics. Chris has been so, inclusive in making me part of the, his family, and you too. I know you watched as well. So, folks, yeah, we have a gold and silver medalist in the German community. I know she's really involved, as I said, in the Peloton community through Chris. So that was amazing. And then I know that from the relay team, the team came in just short of bronze in fourth place. But it was absolutely incredible to watch somebody with that much power and
Yeah.
strength using their arms. And she must have been exhausted in the road race because she had just done the time trial the day before. And now that one isn't, we don't see it as a race. For those of you that don't know, it they just do it as their time, and her time was the fastest. But in the race, there were about 9 Were there 9? Maybe there were more than that.
Yeah.
26 maybe. Oh gosh, I can't remember. Maybe Chris will chime in and then I'll get that. But there were, and she was at the front. It was
Yeah.
Netherlands, America, and Germany that were at the front. And I got to tell you, she put on quite a show. So how awesome that Mila
And
gave
the
her that
conditions,
recognition.
yeah. I think the
Oh,
conditions as well. Do you remember like the rain? It was
oh,
like it was
awful,
so
awful.
challenging and just I got goosebumps talking about this because just the whole event and yeah, I think I mean from our perspective as well, this is why it was so important for us to obviously involve the German community is that
Of
oftentimes the
course.
Paralympics don't get that much coverage and like just to
Yes.
see everyone supporting it and like Mila obviously dedicating the ride to it and just so much positivity and support is just very encouraging and just what the Paralympics deserve in terms of coverage.
100%. And again, bringing it into the Peloton community with knowing that,
Exactly.
Chris is such a inclusive part of the community. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Any other little bits and pieces that we need to know about?
Yeah, a little something. So I think you've already reported on it, obviously, that the Tread is going on sale now, obviously in the UK, US, and I think Canada, we're a bit luckier in that it already went on sale. But in Germany, they hadn't officially had announced the date, I think it was the 28th of September, then pulled it back again and said, okay, no, it's going to be fall 2021. But little birdie has told me that I know some members have actually received emails from Peloton Germany asking them if they wanted to buy the Tread early. So I know some members are getting the Tread as early as next week. I think it's probably,
Wow.
yeah, I know, it's so exciting.
That's fantastic. Oh, that is amazing. I know one community member that I do keep in touch with, an American Living, Dita 426, did actually go into the Munich store and order
Yeah,
hers. So I don't know when it's arriving, but I know that she did order hers, and she's living just outside of Munich. So that is really exciting news. Wow,
yeah,
there was a lot of good stuff with the German community this week. So really
so much.
appreciate you jumping on and giving us all those bits and pieces.
Yeah, anytime, Amanda. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Awesome, Jules. Well, you have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you back here hopefully soon with more news.
See you soon. Have a good one.
Bye now.
Bye.
Yeah, so that was really great. Thanks, Jules, for that information. I mean, it's just so amazing to see how the communities all rally together and everybody gets together. So that was really fun, and I'm sure they, as I said when I was chatting with Jules, there probably was some very envious people wanting those types of things happening here in the rest of the communities. So, John, yeah, moving on. I'm sure a ton of you talking about envious people. A ton of you are as envious as I was this past week when we got to see the YouTube video that Peloton released of members being surprised by their coaches. So on Thursday, John Foley had tweeted how they had invited members to film what they thought was a thank you video to be shown to their favorite instructor. But those same instructors were, in fact, waiting backstage to surprise them. And tons of these had popped up on social media as each instructor shared their own videos. So that was really amazing. And I had chills watching some of these different instructors, come out of the back and, say hi to those folks that were sitting there and sharing their, their love for the instructor. But yeah, I mean, as I said, some envy going on there because that would have been, but they would have had to fly me to the UK to meet my favorite instructor. So maybe that's why they knew that I wasn't going to be included. What was your excuse, John?
It seemed like it was all local tri-state area members.
Yeah. I think I mean, absolutely. They weren't going to incur the cost of flying folks out all over the US. But that was
super
pretty
sweet and heartwarming because I loved seeing Robin watching on the monitor with her headset, and then she quickly takes off the headphones and walks out. I love that surprise reaction, because it's so genuine and they're so excited and you see their faces light up. So
exactly.
it was just,
exactly.
yeah, it just warmed my heart.
Yeah, no, they were amazing. They were really amazing, and I've only gotten to see a few of them pop up as the instructors started sharing them on their own social media. It was
Yeah.
nice to see, a few of those popping up. Yeah, and then John, Peloton also released the final segment of the four-part documentary that they put together on for Beck's Gentry on her the roadmap, Beck's journey, and that was dropped on Wednesday. The final part, John, a quote that really resonated with me that Beck said was, I don't fight for perfection. I fight for progress. And I love that because I think we are all so hard on ourselves on being perfect, especially in this competitive environment that we're in within the Peloton community. And I know Selena uses that same quote, progress, not perfection. And it just resonated with me. I loved, I loved hearing that. I absolutely loved that. So it had actually been 3 years since Bex had been back to her hometown in Worcester, England. And it was so beautiful to get to meet her parents and just to hear them. So her parents' names are Julia and Norman, and they were incredibly emotional in their part of the interview. So if you guys haven't jumped on YouTube and taken a look at the 4-part series, I definitely encourage you to do so. It was absolutely amazing to see how dedicated and determined, Bex is, and her just strive to want to do this, and the fact that she documented it all for us as a community was humbling. Because she didn't make the trials, and yet she still offered us the experience of what she went through, which was amazing.
We knew the outcome already, obviously, but it was still great to see the whole journey and to sort of experience it with her along the way.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, now we've got some instructors in the news. What do we have up first, Amanda?
Yeah, so for our instructor in the news segment, John, the first off is Tunde and Chelsea Jackson Roberts were both featured in Shape magazine. The article was titled "Peloton Continues Its Anti-Racism Initiative Through the Together Means All of Us campaign." So as we all know, a year ago, Peloton had launched the Peloton Pledge. And what they wanted to do was really share the progress that has been made as part of their commitment to combating systemic inequities in fitness and beyond. So they had both Tunde and Chelsea Jackson Roberts, share their perspective and have the platform to give that. So again, you can head over to pelobuddy.com if you want to go ahead and read the full article. It was pretty awesome.
Oh. Well, Adrian Williams, our tread and strength instructor, he was just interviewed in GQ magazine. The title of that interview is "The Real Life Diet of Peloton Instructor Adrian Williams, Who Swears by Salmon for Breakfast." Now, I read this. I read the interview, and it's very much about Adrian's diet, his routine. Yeah. And if you have ever wondered how Adrian has achieved such an Adonis-like physique, besides, the amount of, workouts he's doing, exercise, fitness-wise, it's also very much diet is a huge important factor for Adrian. I know I could never do this diet. It's quite comprehensive for, he has fish for dinner every night. He starts the morning with a fish oil, teaspoon of fish oil, but he swears by it.
Well, take one look at him, John, and I don't know. I mean, maybe we should all be doing that. He's definitely one hunky instructor, that's for sure. But his body is sick.
And he's very dedicated to this diet, but I could never do that with what with my vices.
There'd be no Chick-fil-A. There'd be no Chick-fil-A in that. Definitely no Chick-fil-A in his diet, John. And maybe those Frescas would have to go too. I don't know.
Yeah, those are no calories in Fresca.
They're not good for you.
Anyways, as I take a sip.
Exactly. So, John, it does seem though that Ali Love's wedding is still the hot topic out there. That's one thing for sure. This past week, Ali and Andrew were actually featured in Ocean Drive magazine. They shared how you can have it all. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Ocean Drive magazine is a very popular Miami-based magazine. And I guess with Ali being a native, of Miami, it did seem fitting that they would feature her in the magazine. So it was nice to see that pop up in the beautiful pictures again from their wedding. So yeah, John, and then I guess to end the instructor in the news, Chelsea Jackson Roberts was featured in Style. She actually went on to share her 5 favorite stretching and yoga poses. So if you are interested in knowing what they are, again, head over to pelobuddy.com and you can certainly take a look at that article.
Let's not forget, happy birthday to Kristen McGee, who had her birthday this past week.
Yes, that was at the beginning of the week. So you're quite right. We almost would have forgotten that. That's quite right. So
let's dive into our picks of the week. I'm very excited about these picks of the week.
I know you are. So let's go. I don't have many, and I know I'm very boring to those of you that watch the show regularly because I don't deviate much on the platform as far as my instructors go. I have one little sneaky one that came in this week, but no question, hands down, my pick of the week was Leanne's 30-minute Disney ride from Thursday. It was brilliant. She looked like a princess. She had a tiara on. She looked gorgeous. She apologized. She was so sweet at the beginning of the class. She apologized that she was not putting Let It Go in the ride. She said, "You guys are sick of it.
Pre-show.
You've
she
heard
gave it to us
it
for pre-show.
in the pre-show. You've heard it. I'm not putting it in the ride." So us lucky enough to have jumped on for the pre-show got to hear that. But the playlist was fantastic. It was a tough ride. I was on fire. I got on there and pedaled away, and I got a personal best on that ride. So I was so happy. But besides that, I would have done it as my pick of the week because it was just fantastic.
What was your favorite song?
My favorite song is from The Lion King. Her opening, was her.
Circle of Life.
Circle of Life, exactly. That is my favorite song. But she put in an Idina Menzel from Frozen, a different song.
Frozen
I can't think of the name of it right now. Yeah.
It's from Frozen 2.
But fantastic. My second pick is another Leanne. I'm sorry, folks, but it was amazing. It was her 20-minute Latin ride from Tuesday. That was the 31st. Oh my God. Enrique, Ricky Martin, Shakira with a little bit of Pitbull. It was a party on the bike. It was a party on the bike that was fantastic. Just 20 minutes, and the music was sensational. I mean, anything with Latin music for me gets me moving. So that was a really cool ride, and I absolutely encourage you guys to take that one. And then lastly, I took Bradley Rose's 20-minute classical ride from last Sunday. And folks, I have to tell you, it was fantastic.
Classical?
The music, classical. He did.
And did you stay awake for the whole ride, or did you doze off?
No,
halfway?
It was brilliant. And he's so fun, John. I've gone back and forth with Bradley. There's some of his rides that I love,
the same way.
And but I have to tell you, I had seen tons of people posting about it on social. Bradley had shared a lot of that on his, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going for it. And it was, honestly, the music was amazing, and he just did an amazing job. He really did an amazing job. So kudos to him on that ride, because it was fantastic. And it was a nice stacking because it was a little bit low impact. It wasn't like a really tough ride to do. So I did stack it with a couple other rides. And those were my picks of the week.
Very cool. Was there any Mozart or Beethoven? What was the
No,
classical?
nope. The classical was, and I knew you were going to do that to me. And of course, I didn't get the music. You put me on
It's
the
okay.
spot.
It's okay.
But
We can move on to my picks if you want.
Let's go with your
Okay.
picks. You have to take the ride. Hold on. Folks will have to take the ride to get to hear what kind of music was on there.
All right. Well, this week, lot of fun workouts, a lot of variety. So I really try to bring a different, I don't want to, pick my favorite instructors every week. I love to give variety, and I love to give love to everyone that I work out with. So this week, I'm going to kick it off. Jen Sherman, she kicked off her Yacht Rock series. It is a 5-part series. You were right, Amanda. She kicked off the first week of Yacht Rock with her 45-minute ride on August 29th. Yacht Rock, it was just, it's a fun, chill musical vibe that Yacht Rock brings, especially, in the summertime.
Yeah.
Because it's a summer vibe. But the really fun aspect of it that caught me by surprise was she included a track from an album I've just been listening to every single day that I'm just obsessed with by John Mayer, called Sob Rock. And it's a very much a throwback to 80s yacht rocky type artists from that era. She included a song from it, and she also told a story which was interesting because right when this album, it's John Mayer's 8th studio album, when it came out at the end of July, I was listening to it immediately, and I was posting about it in my stories because I'm obsessed with John Mayer's TikTok. I've kind of got a guy crush on him, apparently. But I love his music.
Straight dudes for John Mayer.
But I was posting all about it, and I was messaging with Jen back then, telling her, I can't wait to hear this on a ride. This is total yacht rock vibe right here. And she had said during the course of the ride, when she played this particular song off the new album, she had said that the studio had reached out to Peloton a couple months prior and asked if Jen would be interested in playing some of the music off the new album for her Yacht Rock series. And she basically said in the ride, like, are you serious? It's a no-brainer. Jen's a big John Mayer fan. So that was a real nice surprise. And I also got a kick out of a lot of Peloton members in various social media pages complaining that John Mayer shouldn't be on a Yacht Rock ride because John Mayer's not Yacht Rock. That just gave me a big kick because it was a great ride, and it's not that deep,
Yeah.
Get over it.
Get over it.
It was just kind of funny the way people were kicking up a fuss, trying to argue whether or not it should be Yacht Rock, and I obviously chimed in, and I was very vocal in saying how much I enjoyed it and that I feel this album is very yacht rockish. But I guess for the yacht rock purists, it has to be all from a certain decade of late 70s, early 80s. Whatever. It was an awesome ride. The track from the new album is great, whether you consider it yacht rock or not. It's a great song. It's called Last Train Home. Next up, Jess King's 30-minute EDM run from August 31st. It's been a few weeks since Jess King did a live run. So she was a little trepidatious in pre-show, like, oh God, I don't know what's going to happen here. I feel so rusty. Awesome run. One of my favorite tracks off it is What Is Love by Hathaway. Once you hear it, you know it. You start bopping your head like this Saturday Night Live sketch. Awesome run. And then next, a 20-minute ride from Christine D'Ericol, CDE. One of my favorite instructors, and one of my favorite instructors to play 80s and new wave music. And this one was a 20-minute new wave ride from September 1st. It has some of the the popular new wave 80s artists, The Smiths, Echo and the Bunnymen. She played Lips Like Sugar. That was probably my favorite track off of it. Depeche Mode, a great 20-minute ride. It leans more, if you're familiar with dark wave, it's kind of the alternative 80s music scene that came out of the UK.
Got it.
So, In Excess, Depeche Mode, Echo and the Bunnymen are super popular new wave artists, but great ride. Now, next up, Ben Alldis. So while Ben is away with Jess in Iceland, he dropped a nice little 45-minute 80s ride on demand from August 31st. So it was a coach-to-camera recording, so there's no shout-outs. But just an awesome 80s playlist of straight bangers and belters. I don't know if you did this one yet, Amanda, but
I haven't.
I mean, I was having a blast.
I have it bookmarked. I do have it bookmarked because people said it was hard. Yeah. Folks were saying that it was really hard. Was it?
I worked pretty hard on it.
Yeah.
Bryan Adams, Prince, U2, Erasure, Starship, Culture Club, just jam-packed.
Wow.
Fantastic ride. Robin Arzon, last pick here. Last but not least, Robin Arzon's 30-minute pop from September 2nd. Amazing playlist. I did it live with Jackie in the basement, so we were both singing along. Some really good inspirational nuggets here. I loved a couple moments where Robin talked about when she was a lawyer in her baby lawyer days. She worked at a law firm that was just across the street from Central Park. And she said that she would spend the whole day in this lawyer job that she didn't feel fulfilled or satisfied in, thinking about when she would get off work and go across the street to Central Park and go running for 20 minutes. And she said, I spent the whole day living for 20 minutes of the day.
Isn't that crazy?
And then she talked about fearlessness at one point. Awesome playlist. Beyonce, Formation, Rachel Platten. When she played This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, that's when there was another big sort of inspirational moment. But Jackie and I were both like out of the saddle, like singing. I could look across from her. I even posted in my Insta stories her, terrible singing, because let's be honest, she doesn't have the voice of an angel. But an amazing ride from Robin Arzon, 30-minute pop. Complete opposite of her Tabata ride, which I featured in last week's Picks of the Week.
Yes.
No, she's not wearing any yellow. She did make mention in the pre-show that this is not that ride. Super fun. Definitely hit that one up.
Awesome, John. Wow, those are some fantastic picks. I mean, I definitely wanted, and I haven't ridden with Robin since she's back. So I think that's definitely one that I'm going to jump on for sure. Bookmark that one. That sounds fantastic. And I do have Ben's bookmarked. So, and funny enough, I don't ride with Christine. I just don't. I did her Broadway ride. She did a Broadway ride, I believe, that I did, which was fantastic. So I really should jump on that. Well, good. These are awesome picks. Picks. Thank you. Right. Well, I guess, folks, that pretty much wraps it up then. We gave you lots and lots of information. We were so thrilled to get Jules on to share the German bit of news. But I guess from me here in Maryland, bye for now, everybody.
Yep. And for me here in Michigan, for anyone celebrating Labor Day, enjoy the long weekend. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.